Welcome to everyone's least favorite sports channel, where we do the thinking so you don't have to. This is Chapo Sports. Today it's another Power 5 for 5. Who are the 5 best teams in all the Power 5 conferences? We're about to get into it. We're going to try and go through this a little bit quicker than I have been in these last few videos, so let's get right into it. Starting with, oh my gosh, nobody cares, the Pac-12. Actually, we might care a little bit. They're doing pretty damn good. Excuse me, because I'm going to be looking at my notes a lot. Number 5, we've got Washington State University. They are 2-0. They beat a ranked Wisconsin. A Power 5 win. Undefeated record. That'll get you in any day. Number 4, we got Washington. 2-0. All their wins have been by big margins, even if they haven't been against the most quality of competition. The margin is definitely the deciding factor here for me. That's what got them in at number 4. Number 3, we're going back to prime time with Colorado. They are 2-0. Both their wins are against Power 5 schools. So that is definitely, and one of them was a ranked TCU. So yeah, they absolutely deserve this spot. I had to fight every urge I had not to put them higher. Number 2, we've got Utah. Again, 2 Power 5 wins, 2-0. Both just solid performances. Utah, rather, is a solid number 2. Number 1, USC. USC's wins haven't been against the best of competition like Utah or Colorado, but they have the week 0 advantage. They are 3-0. While everyone else is 2-0. So, dropping from the rankings of last week is Oregon. They won, but it was a very close game to a not so impressive Texas Tech. Let's move on to the ACC, everyone's second least favorite conference. Number 5, we've got UNC. They are 2-0, but man, did they struggle against Appalachia State, a small school who I actually kind of like. But it took them 2 overtimes, I believe it was, to beat Appalachia State and to put them away. So, you are top 5 UNC, but you're at the bottom of the top 5. Number 4, the Louisville Cardinals. They've got a conference win under their belt, and they are 2-0. They beat the crap out of poor little Murray State. So I'm not super impressed by that. Murray State's an incredibly small school, so the 56-0 margin or whatever they put up against them doesn't really do it for me, but they are 2-0, and one of their wins is a conference win. So number 4. Number 3, we've got Duke. They are 2-0. They beat the top 10 ranked Clemson in week 1. That's enough to get you to number 3. Number 2, we have Miami. Miami, guys, they put away Texas A&M, a ranked Texas A&M, an SEC school. That just means more. So Miami, you're 2-0 and very sitting pretty at number 2 in the ACC. Number 1, Florida State University. That LSU win holds so much weight in their 2-0 record. These guys are in the talks for the playoff. They are the bee's knees right now. Moving on to the Big 12. Finally, an interesting conference. At 5, we've got TCU. Normally, this early in the season, I would not be in favor of putting a 1-1 team in the top 5, but considering that loss was to Colorado, I put them in. They also just had a blowout win performance this week, so TCU, welcome to the top 5. Then we're going Kansas State. They are 2-0 ranked, but their 2 wins are against nobodies, so I can't put you any higher than 4 in all good consciousness. Number 3, we got Oklahoma State. They beat a Power 5 team in Arizona State. They are 2-0. Good for you, Cowboys. Number 2, we've got Oklahoma. Oklahoma's week 1 win was so massive and incredible performance that it's carrying a lot of weight for their number 2 ranking here. Number 1, everybody knows who it's going to be. It's Texas. They beat Alabama. They are a top 4 team in the nation, absolutely. Sitting atop this strong conference here, we've got Texas. Go Longhorns. Next conference, we've got the Big Ten. Finally getting to the meat and potatoes of a conference video. Number 5, we've got Michigan. Or not Michigan, excuse me. I probably just gave half the damn country a heart attack. We've got Minnesota. I looked at my notes wrong. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Minnesota. They are 2-0. They have a conference win. Well-deserved number 2 spot. Number 4, we've got Iowa. 2-0. They beat Iowa State. I believe, yes. Iowa State, says my notes. An in-state rival, a fellow Power-5er. That'll get you this well-deserved spot. Iowa, good for you. Then we've got a tie. A tie for number 2 between Michigan and Ohio State. They won their games by the exact same point margin. They are both 2-0. Neither of their wins seem overly more impressive than the other. They, like I said, they both put up 35-7 games this week. Good for you, Ohio, Michigan. You guys are tied for second as of right now. Number 1, Penn State. Yes, we have dethroned Michigan and Ohio State this week for the Big Ten, excuse me. They just had a bigger point margin in their victories. They beat a Power-5 school in West Virginia. Yeah, as of right now, there's not too much to go off of, but what we do have to go off of, I've got to give it to Penn. They have stronger wins than Ohio State or Michigan. Dropping from the rankings this week was Wisconsin with their loss, as I mentioned earlier. On to last but not least, the SEC. Number 5, we've got Arkansas. There were a lot of 2-0 teams in the SEC that I could have put in this spot, and I just had to ask myself, who's the best of these 2-0 teams? Is it Mississippi State? Is it Kentucky? Who is it? I settled on Arkansas. They just have a good point margin in their wins. They've held both their previous opponents combined to 19 points total. That's some good defense. Number 4, we've got Alabama. I hate to put a loser in the rankings, but a 1-1 Alabama still beats most of the SEC. So, yes, they lost to Texas, but it's Texas. They are a national champion contender. I'm not going to hold it against them too much, but I do think this is the end of the Nick Saban era. Last year they played Texas and barely squeaked by. Now they did lose. I do see more losing in Alabama's future. Number 3, we got Tennessee. What to say about them? They're 2-0. I see them as a potential New Year's Six bowler. They beat Austin Peay this week. Not the greatest win ever, but they are 2-0, and they have some pretty high expectations on their shoulders. Number 2, Ole Miss. They are 2-0. They've had some solid performances, and they beat a ranked Tulane this week. That's enough for me. Tulane is not a Power-5 school, but they are ranked, and they've had a great season last year as well. So, that's a good win in my book. Ole Miss, you deserve number 2. Number 1, we all know who it is, the reigning king, Georgia. I should have told you this list from number 1 to number 5. That would have been more interesting. actually, because then you'd have to actually guess who I'm going to say next. Dropping from the rankings this week in the SEC, we've got Texas A&M because of their loss. Whew. That's it. That's your Power 5 for 5, guys. Tell me what you think. Did I rank any one of these guys wrong? Is there someone that's in the rankings that shouldn't be? Is there someone not in the rankings you think should be? The Power 5 for 5 is my version of the top 25. In lieu of a top 25, I just take the 5 conferences, 5 best teams, and I smash them all together because everyone does a top 25. I at least put a spin on it, guys. So, tell me what you think. Love to hear your comments. Subscribe for more videos below, and I'll see you guys next time.